Alright guys, so this is our grade book assignment for Knies 205. Um, I'm just going to talk about some of the steps that we had to go through to make it kind of look something like this. So what I first did was I put all of the students' names in alphabetical order. And I did this by just highlighting the names right here. I right clicked, went to sort A to Z, and presto, it gives you all of the names in alphabetical order. Next, we had to add the formulas. So we wanted to do the quiz averages first. So basically, we're going to do Austin's first. We want to do his individual scores for each quiz that he took. And to average the scores out, we'll use the formula. Well, we'll start with an equal sign. That's how you start every formula for Excel. And we're doing average, so we're going to type in average, and then we're going to type B7 colon E7. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you're going to start in this cell, B7, and it's going to take all of these into account. So stopping with E7. So just because it says B7 colon E7 doesn't mean it's just taking these two. It takes the whole row into account, and it averages out the scores that you have. And so Austin got a quiz average of 16, and that's pretty much for everyone. That's how I did it. I just took their first grade, the first cell row of the quiz that they took, and I tapped in the last one, and it just took their whole row into account. Then I did the class average for each quiz that we had. So you come to this cell block, and I typed in equal average, and I put from B7 to B16 because we're starting at B7 and we want all of these, so we're going to stop at B16, and it'll average out the whole row. And so that's what I did for each one. And I did the quiz averages too. I took the average of the quiz averages. And so after that, we wanted to do the test, and pretty much the same concept. We're starting with G7. We want to, and then participation. I put participation in for the test average, and that pretty much gives us our average. It takes this again. It takes the whole row into account from G7 all the way to K7. Whenever you type in G7 colon K7, it'll take all of these numbers starting with, like that. And again, I did that for each student. Then I did pretty much the same. I took the average of all the students' test scores for the test. I just started with G7 and then ended with G16, and that gave us 79.7 for the volleyball. For the basketball, it was 89.2. So on and so forth. So now we wanted to find their total points. I'll show you how I did that real quick. I just added, as you can see, it starts with B6. I just added each one of the ones that were actually a grade, including the participation. I didn't count the extra credit because that just adds, it's not really a grade, it's just extra points. And so as you can see, I took all the cell blocks that these were in, like for G6, H6, I6, etc., and I added them all together. And then, but whenever I added the students' grades up, I added not only up to K7, but M7 too, which is their extra credit. So I added their extra credit points to it, and I did that for all of them. And then the next step, which was pretty easy, all we had to do was take the total points that they had, which is right here, and divide that by the total possible points that they could have made for the class, which was 650. So that's basically what that looks like. You don't have to type an average or anything. It's just N7 divided by 650. I could have just as easily put 523 divided by 650, but just to say, I put um, the block that the calculation was in, just to make sure that it's 100% correct. And so I did that all the way down, and then I took the average of the grade point averages. And yeah, that was it for the formulas. Then we had to add auto filters. For the auto filters, I just highlighted the whole thing, and I went to, what was it? Yeah, data, and I pressed filter, and then I pressed auto filter, and it put all the little drop down boxes that you can choose, whichever one you want to look at. If you wanted to look at an individual's grade or whatever you wanted to do, you can do that. And then I did add a header. I put one right here, but also I don't know, I'm not too sure exactly, because the only way that you can view it out of like the actual header that I added is in this view, and I don't really care for this view for the video to do any explaining, because it's kind of, it just doesn't work. So, and how you do that, I just went to header and footer, and I typed in header. So, but I just put it right there anyways. What else we have to do? Oh, create a chart. So this is my chart. It's a pretty big chart. This just has pretty much everything. It has starting from quiz 1 all the way to the average test scores, yada yada yada. It has everything, and all of the students' names right here that I color coded and how well they did in the class. And the way I did that was pretty much the same way that I did the auto drop filter. Just highlighted it, and I went to this, and I clicked on 3D column, and I'll even show you. And it comes up with a little graph like that. I just spread it out more so it'll be easier to look at. And I believe that's it. So thank you for watching.